Namaste and welcome to Sujith Talks. My name is Sujith Billa, registered migration agent here in Melbourne. This video is about the telephone interviews. It could be for your visa applications or citizenship application. It could be for your sponsorship approval or nomination approval, whatever it is. These are the telephone interviews. One would think what they are and how they do it, the case officer or decision makers. So I'll be doing a few videos on this because there's a lot of information. I divide it into different parts. So this is part number 1, telephone interviews. In this video, I'm going to cover what's the aim of these telephone interviews, what is the need for these telephone interviews, and who does these telephone interviews. Telephone interviews are basically to clarify or verify information. That's the aim of it. So to clarify or verify information, or to compare one set of information with another set of information. Suppose they have some information in their file, but they're not sure about that information, so they want to get another set of information and then compare. So these are the things that happen behind the scenes, and we wouldn't know how they take decisions, but this is the policy that we are talking about. The case officer usually will follow. So they obtain a version of events and then try to analyze the information they get. They also look at timelines, that is sequence of events. So they might be asking the interviewee to talk about a particular event, the timeline of that from beginning to end, and then they might be moving to an older incident and ask questions regarding that. So this is what happens usually in questioning. So you'll be asked about the timeline of a certain thing, and say from 2015 to 2016, how was your relationship with your husband or wife? If it's a partner visa, then you'll be telling them, okay, this is what happened in Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Then they might go back in time and say, tell me about this thing that happened in July. Those are some of the things that they want to get out of a telephone interview. That's their aim. What is the need of a telephone interview? So firstly, before doing a telephone interview, the case officer or decision maker should come to a conclusion whether there is a need for telephone interview. Can the application be finalized without one? If it is such a case, then they wouldn't do a telephone interview. So not every application will go through a telephone interview. They'll be looking at any risks that are associated by not doing a telephone interview. Is there any ambiguous information? Are there any gaps in information? Is there any inconsistent or conflicting information? Suppose the sponsor said something and the applicant said something else, then there is conflicting information, or the information that they have in their file and the information that the applicant is giving in the application is different. It's not the same, it's not consistent, so they might be looking at a telephone interview at that time. Also, they'll be looking at the alternate approaches. Before doing a telephone interview, they'll question themselves whether that information that they are looking for is possible to get from a department system or tool. So they have some information in the department, so they'll be looking at in the department system whether they can get that information about a particular applicant, or whether they could get it from an external database. So we've got external databases, for example, to check the driving license. If you've got an Australian driving license, there are databases where you can go and check it, whether the identity document is valid or not, or genuine or not. They'll also be looking at social media research and open source research. So these are two different things. Social media, as you know, you could be expected to provide accurate information in your Facebook or Instagram or any other social media networks. So they might be looking at that to find some information about you. Also be the case that they want to verify some data about a particular company. If it's an employment verification, they want to go and see in open source researching about a company profile. They also look at different options. Like I said, if they can find information from one of those alternate methods, they wouldn't do a telephone interview. Who does the telephone interviews, by the way? It could be the department decision maker or the case officer as we call them, or it could be a staff member. Department member, the decision maker or the case officer sometimes will rely on a staff member to do it. Again, that staff member could be onshore or offshore. Onshore case officers or staff members will have linguistic skills, they will have cultural knowledge and local information, which is very, very useful. For example, you're doing a 309/100 visa application from India. Most likely, the case officer will be posted in the New Delhi High Commission of Australia. They will have the linguistic skills, which means that some of the case officers working there or the staff members working there will have skills in different languages. For example, they could speak English as well as Hindi, which is the most popular language in India. They could also speak regional languages. Because they are posted in Delhi, they will know exactly what are the cultural things in India, what are the festivals and how do people behave in different times, so that they know when to call them. And they also have local information about various things. So that is part one of telephone interviews, which was very interesting to me, and this is based on a policy. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go to Sujith Talks on YouTube, subscribe and click on the bell icon to get notified. If you're after immigration advice, go to my website sujithtalks.com and schedule a phone or a video consultation session. Once again, thanks for watching and namaste.